Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of CleanSpark, ticker symbol CLSK. So I was curious to go over that one, so I thought I'd request it and go over it first. But yeah, happy to take requests. I'll probably be streaming for about an hour. It's been a long weekend of work for me. So I'm pretty exhausted. I'm kind of a zombie right now. But, I got to do ticker requests live because it is Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. A little bit late, started a few minutes late, so sorry about that. But yeah, this is something I try to do every Sunday. I have been missing them on occasion, really just because I get so busy, with work, and I've been doing this options, weekly options video that kind of takes a lot of my time. But I'm getting more efficient with it, and so hopefully, things will settle down a little bit for me with that. But yeah, so the reason why I wanted to actually, before I get into the reason why I want to go over CleanSpark, I am first going to, just kind of look at the chart myself. And these are levels that I had previously drawn. Did look like, does look like we've kind of been testing this uptrend as support and bounced here, and then I guess I was kind of suggesting there was an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. I don't know when I drew that, but that does look like it was pretty spot on, and now testing that neckline as support. And so the reason why I wanted to go over CleanSpark is because I have been following Marathon Digital for the options videos. But price in the premium of the calls that I was looking at, or the one call, is just a little too pricey for me. And so I thought that with Mara at $26, CleanSpark's a little bit cheaper at $15. So, I thought I'd look into that, and we can see here. Yeah, I mean, basically it's the same kind of pattern. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to actually look at CleanSpark is because somebody posted about it, and so I just wanted to, let's see my profile, check that out. If I go over to my likes, let's see, this is one I just posted on that. Actually, I reposted his post, but he had one that I think CleanSpark, yeah, this one. So we posted this yesterday, so on Saturday. CleanSpark monthly candle chart, cup, and handle, forming the handle in order to know where it will end up. Highly recommend you check out the monthly chart of SOUN, SoundCloud, which I've covered on the channel. Covered both on the channel before. And then he's posted recently same chart, different tickers. And so, yeah, let's see. So this is the monthly chart of, see monthly up there, monthly chart. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I have no idea if there will be a gap up tomorrow in the market, but I think that, things are just looking really bullish into the end of the year. So, but, it is a shortened week. Thanksgiving's Thursday, and I think Friday is going to be a half-day trading. So, it might not actually be too crazy of a week, but, short weeks can be pretty crazy. So, generally, I'm just bullish, across the board. But so here, looking at his analysis here, CleanSpark 1 month candles, and so just drawing this trend line going back to, looks like 2021, the beginning of 2021. So I'm just going to flip back over to this, switch over to the monthly, and let's see, this was the beginning of 2021, so what he drew is, let's see, just so I'm not, so it's off those, okay, so over here, and then to over here. So monthly, and it's making its way up this little ramp. And yeah, so he's got this drawn as, yep, looks, I mean, you could, cup and handle, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, it's all kind of the same, in my view. So like, I should make this a thick line, make that purple. That, you can view this as left shoulder, head. This is the right shoulder, or you could view it as cup and handle. And so that's, let's see, yeah, that's how he's viewing this. But with that, downtrend, that could be breaking out, really like into the new year. So there's some time on it. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I want to follow this one with options, maybe not. But let's see. I got this line here at $24. I like June calls. So let's look over at the options table. Calls, and just going to look over here. June expiration. 24 is what I was saying. Yeah, those are pretty pricey. So, if I look at Mara calls for June 20th, I think I was looking at the 50, I think, for calls. Or I guess, earlier, but yeah, getting up to 38. These are just, super expensive. So this is, kind of a discount. But yeah, going up to 24, are there other levels that I could be looking at? Maybe up to here, 42. So maybe look at the $40 strike. Actually, it doesn't have $40 strike, but the price to buy is $4.20 for the cheapest call. It expires June 20th. I just like, to have a lot of months between me and the expiration. I just trade better because I get too anxious. I'm going to be wrong if it's like even like 2 months. I get a little anxious. And that's just, how I am, how I manage it, because I'm learning a lot with options. So implied volatility, 160, basically 7%. So that is pretty, elevated. So it's kind of, this past couple weeks, past couple months was really the time to accumulate. But, who would knew that? And then I guess what I should also throw up here is the SOUN chart, because he was drawing comparison to that. Yeah, and clearly, I had probably drawn this line based on his chart. And yeah, this past month, it's gone up 64%. So pretty nice. But that, has broken out from that downtrend. Whereas, let's see, CleanSpark has not. But, you could probably adjust this line a little bit. No closes above it. But it did, kind of get rejected there. So maybe this has a couple more months, or maybe this continues higher. So, yeah, well, actually, and I should probably undo the move that I just made with that. I guess I can't undo it. But I want this to stick to the top there, stick to the top here. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Anyways, daily chart. Happy to be taking requests if you guys got them. And, since I've done that, going over that, cheers to you guys. Hopefully you've had a great weekend. Hopefully it's not too cold where you're at. I've been at work the past 3 days, working 12-hour shifts and then trying to make all the videos last night. So I'm just dead tired. But yeah, I'll try to do the stream for an hour. And then, it's kind of like I don't have to work tomorrow, but it's like with the market opening, it feels like, I got to be up early, So anyways, cheers to you guys. Hopefully it's a great weekend. Hopefully it's a great week for us trading. And I have to say, I'm just super, super excited about what's going on in the market and just getting more confident with options. I haven't gotten the subscription for Unusual Whales yet, but I'm probably going to do that this week for the Black Friday discount. And I'm just really excited. But yeah, let's see. What are some that I am curious to look at? Let's see. I don't know. I guess, one that I'm holding that, I'm bullish on, but I'm wondering if I'm, kind of, there's too much hopium with it. Because it's like, these big wicks to the upside. I got so many levels drawn here. I'm going to delete some of them. But yeah, I don't know if, how much of this is, maybe this is a bear flag and this is going down. What are some signs that could be suggesting maybe, what I want to do? Hide the drawings for a second, look at the weekly. And yeah, okay, so this makes me feel better because although, just consolidation here with a big wick to the upside, and on that week it was a bearish engulfing candle. So that makes me a little bit concerned. But what we can see here is higher lows in the stock price. So that makes me feel good about that. And it does look like, yeah, I mean, let's see. Look at this on the monthly. What do we got here? This is just this downtrend here coming to a head right there. Let's see. I don't have anything on this scale drawn. But yeah, I mean, that is kind of compelling. Got rejected over here. And then, over here from this low to, I'll do the close there, just so it's a little bit tighter. And let's switch back to the daily to see what that looks like. Okay, so I think I want to adjust this to, double top we saw over here. And it's, I'll lock that into place. This one, unlock that, move it over here. And yeah, I just want to make sure the pivot points are all right as well. I shouldn't have locked that into place because I'm doing a terrible job drawing that. Okay, so I think that's good there. Yeah, it's too high there. I drew that on the monthly. Crap, gotta unlock it. All right, so there's that. And maybe I should, make these color that will stand out. Or maybe I'm gonna do light blue. Light blue is just so soothing. I really like that color. And so, yep, and then this, yeah, I've got too many lines drawn here. I'm going to remove the 100% from this just to clean that up. But I still got that 786, which we're trading below currently, so it's a little concerning. Over here, this is the prior low, right around 10 bucks. We're trading above 10 bucks. Actually, we are, yeah, that's 786. We are below it, so maybe that's a little concerning. This here, I don't need that line. That's just some noise. Over here, it did look like we got rejected from, right around 13. And actually, Mr. Chart Norris pointed that out, so not too surprised there. And then this downtrend here. So, yeah, and I mean, this red uptrend, I feel like that's maybe something. We're below it now, though. We actually closed like right below it there. But yeah, I mean, I've got some calls in this. They don't expire until June, so I'm not really that concerned. They're probably $15. I don't know. I could look at the options table just to see calls June 20th. And so what strike was I looking at? They're 90, 15, yeah. So right around this price target, our premium price, I've been placing limit buys, and I've got a couple buys, one at 95 and one at 90. That maybe they get filled, maybe they don't, but I've got a nice little position and stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is higher lows. Maybe I want to adjust this red trend line just because, we have clearly, I just want to make sure I'm following those higher lows. And yeah, on the daily, this did just turn red, so it seems like, maybe it could be breaking down. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see volume when it was up here, less volume when it comes down. I don't really know. Hey, and Saul, what's up? ChargePoint and SOUN. Yeah, happy Sunday to you. Cheers. Sunday fun day. Yeah, so I did go over SOUN briefly. But I guess that was really like in the context of if you don't follow Mr. Chart Norris on X, I definitely recommend it. He posts very simple, easy to read charts like this, where you can clearly see cup and handle, hammer candle there. This is on the monthly time scale. This is CleanSpark, by the way. But yeah, I mean, he just does stuff that's really clean like this. Maybe it takes a month for it to play out, or but I just think that he does really good analysis. And let's see. He had posted something. Okay, yeah. He mentioned SOUN in that one. So basically he's saying that, look at SOUN, and that's an example of this pattern, but it's played out already. So I'm going to go to one of the nice things that, I'm on my page, so I need to go to his. The nice thing about his Twitter page is that you can just search for whatever he's got, ticker. And so we can just go to SOUN, look that up. And so we just mentioned it in this one. I'm going to go to the latest. So there's that one. And the monthly chart of SOUN was this. He put this out yesterday. So over the weekend, SOUN monthly chart. Prices breaking out from this long-term diagonal trend line, approaching our target while successfully forming the handle of cup and handle formation. Was it really worth panicking? And so, yeah, I mean, just from his analysis, I think it's, good for me. It helps me learn. And also I'm just breaking down something that's very simple rather than going all of the levels that I might have up there. So the things that stand out to me, this is, the monthly time frame. So it might take a little bit of time, but what we can see here is, these two like shaded areas. I'm not sure what those would be referred to as, but this one was clearly resistance over here, then broke above, that flipped to being support. And then this shaded region here, we got rejected from it, and we are now back at that level. But we are, depending on how we close the month of November, which is really just, the short week that we have ahead, we are potentially going to be back into that shaded zone. And, with this downtrend from these monthly highs going back to around April or so, maybe this is April, May. This would be May, the high of May of 2022. And then over here, this is going to be the high of, I believe, March of 2024. We get that nice downtrend. Depending on where we close the month, we've broken out from that. And so while you might think, oh, there's been a big move here, it's over, you wait however many months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's like 9 months of waiting, and then breaks out here. But because it's a breakout from, kind of these areas of like suppression and below, being previously below this downtrend, now it might actually have some volatile moves to the upside, but still, again, this is on the monthly time frame. So yeah, I mean, this seems like it's a pretty good long-term hold. And so I'm actually just going to kind of recreate what he's drawn here, and then I can take a measurement to give an idea of where price might be going. And so just going to switch back to the chart, looking at it's possible I've already drawn it. Maybe those are those lines, because yeah, I'm a fan of his stuff. And so monthly, this is going back to 2024. I kind of drew it on a smaller scale. This is that May of 2021? Yeah, that's what I said. Sorry, 2022. 2022. Okay. So yeah, from this monthly time frame, I just did it like this, shorter time frame, but he was drawing it. Oh, I wish I could just switch those points. But he drew it. Yeah, and also just like AI tech, all of that seems to be, like got a pretty bright future, looking really good. So yeah, I mean, let's see. If we assume this is like the neckline or the brim of that cup, it's breaking out here. But another way we could draw it is potentially like with this high being the brim of that cup. So it does need to push higher. And so I guess we can kind of view this in like two different scenarios. One is this downtrend, and then I'll draw this horizontal line here. And I'm just going to move that so it intersects with the high here. And so that is, you know, like the neckline or the brim of this cup if it's to be like this. And so from that, from the low of this bowl, of this valley, the cup, we can take a measurement, and I'm actually going to shrink this a little bit so I can do it a little easier. Just going from that low, and then I'm going to get the midpoint of that, let's see, of that this measurement to be lined up with the brim of that cup. And then I'm also, yeah, let's see, just trying to think, maybe this is reasonable for, you know, how long it might take price to get up here, and that would be going to around $20 a share. So $20 could definitely be getting up there is what it looks like from this. And also, you know, going to this point here, that's also kind of moving up to, you know, the that diagonal there. And if I do adjust this though, let's say to move the midpoint to where this is over here, right now this would be like April of 2025. And so if I just move this over to here, you know, where our current month is, if that's where we're breaking out, maybe this would be going up to 20 over the course of the next 2 years. It says the end of October 2026. I think that's a little extreme. Maybe like this point over here, so maybe like a year from now, price could be around 20, but I feel like that's still, you know, being like giving it too much time. So I kind of like the measurement from here lining up with that candle that tests that point there. We got all of those lines intersecting there. And so this high right around $20, that would be June, the end of June. So yeah, I mean, this could be running for the first half of next year up to around 20. That would be my price target. And then also, you know, 18, 14 was, I guess, the previous all-time high. So that is probably going to be a pretty important level over there. So maybe, you know, that will be a good level to keep an eye on if it does continue higher. But yeah, from current price, this could be going up 100, almost 20%, or, you know, almost 130, right around 135% if it gets up to the top of that. But yeah, switching this back over to, I actually think it looks pretty nice on the daily. So, you know, these are all those levels that I've drawn. This is a little bit off over here, but, you know, because this is, you know, it got like rejected over here. This was March 14th, got rejected from that level, which is also that downtrend. And then here got rejected from that downtrend, fake out, breakout. And now it looks like there's a real breakout. On Friday, it went up 18%. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is looking really good, at least getting to 10. Maybe it gets into some resistance there. And then longer term, you know, I think this could definitely be getting up to 20. So hopefully that was helpful on SOUN. I see some other comments, so I'm going to check on those. But then I will go over ChargePoint next. I'm just going to check these comments. All EV will kiss the Tesla ring of brown doom under the AI iron fist of General Musk in the coming days. They made a movie about this. It's called Get Out. Seriously, though, like DMN, a Canadian EV. So, yeah, I mean, I think that everything is pretty well situated to move. So, let's see. Superbike company. Okay, so there's lots of requests here. So I'm just going to type in DMN, see what that is. Is this what you're requesting? So I'll look at that. There isn't anything there, so I assume that's not what you're requesting. But yeah, I'm just going to go over ChargePoint here. Clearly, I got lots of levels on this. And yeah, I mean, for me, I've been kind of disappointed with ChargePoint lately, just like the performance of it. And, you know, I've been kind of focusing more on options. And so with this around like $1, the options are just not that interesting with it. And I like to sell covered calls on positions that I've been holding for a while. And yeah, I haven't been able to do anything with covered calls with ChargePoint. Not that I'm bearish on it or anything, but if it is going to be trending down like this, I might as well be making a little bit of money on covered calls, which is a very small amount, like $1 a week at most. Yeah, and that would be then to like trim my position at or above my average. But yeah, this has just been coming down so much. But did bounce. It looks like a big wick down to like 105. So hopefully that holds. We did get a lot of consolidation here. Maybe that corresponds with a fib level. I'm just going to delete some of these lines because I don't think that they're important anymore. Let's see. I can make this line less thick. Maybe make that yellow. So, and then, yeah, this trend line here, I don't think that's important. This purple one also broke that. So, let's see. What can I do here? Yeah. I can do a Fibonacci retracement from the low here to the high here. And just look at some of the other levels that go beyond, like 1618. That is going to be below current price. It's around 45 cents, so I don't think that's really that reasonable of a level to be thinking about right now. But yeah, I mean, this is right above $1, so I feel like, we'll have to see what happens with the dollar on it. Thinking about Luminar laser, they just had a reverse split, but that has just been hanging around $1 for a while. And so, I could see ChargePoint coming down to $1, and I just think of it as like, if I was a short seller, I'd be awarded a trophy whenever a stock was pushed to or below $1 a share. And so I feel like that could be happening with ChargePoint. I think that could be forcing them to kind of put, a reverse split on the table. And if we look at the history, we should see like an M or something back here. It doesn't look like they've had a reverse split. So I could see that, being on the table. So yeah, unfortunately, I could see this fading down to $1, maybe hanging out there and below it, kind of forcing their hand into having a reverse split. And so I did draw this downtrend over here. We did get a pretty big wick up on Friday, but got rejected, inverted hammer candle. And with that being at the top there from, this following green move on Thursday, going up 3.67%, this could be suggesting that it is going to be pulling back, especially because, it does look like it's bumping into that downtrend. So yeah, I mean, like for me, what I'm doing, since like I said, I'm getting more interested in options, I'm not really buying too many shares of anything right now. I'm really just focusing on options. And, so for like ChargePoint, I think I have an order to buy. I think I was doing it in 10 share increments, but then it's just like, well, I mean, if it hits 108, which I think was the low over here, then it's like, if it hits 108 again, then I'll buy another one. I think I bought one more share when it wicked down to here. And I think I've just got another buy order for one more share at 108 just to kind of keep me engaged with it. But I feel like, 108 to add one share, not a big deal. No worries at all with that. But, I'm really just kind of waiting to see, like, does this go below $1 a share? And I think it will. But maybe with earnings coming up, it looks like on the 4th, so not this week, but next week, maybe we see some volatile moves to the upside. And one thing, just looking at this, I've got this downtrend here. But I could also, I don't really like how Webull does parallel channels, but I can draw one based on the high here. And then this other pivot high, and then go into the lows over here. I mean, I think that looks pretty cool. So, if you want to draw that on your chart, just the parallel channel tool, that is based on the high from September 18th, the high from October 7th, and then the low from October 2nd. And so I think that's a pretty nice parallel channel that, let's see, and we've even... I mean, you could do some hand waving to suggest that we were in it before over there or, bouncing around it. But yeah, I mean, this has been in this channel. So yeah, I mean, I guess this could still be going lower towards earnings, right around $1 a share. So yeah, because here But, one thing that, is also good to consider with this, I did draw the 2 pivot points over here, so take this with a grain of salt. But, we get a rejection from it over here, rejection from it over here. Then we get a fake out break over here. So maybe the next time this goes up, maybe it's more than a fake out break, maybe corresponding with earnings. Maybe we get rejected from around 130, pull back, test this yellow line, which is, I guess it's a trend line, which is crazy because there's no number over here, but that's right around 125 or so, I'd say. So maybe move up to like 130, 135, 140, pull back to around 125, and then keep going to fill this gap at 169. So I think that would be really nice, especially if that happens around earnings. But yeah, I mean, this is in this downtrending channel, so got to first see a breakout. And when we see that breakout, we want to see it, really hold, not just pull back into it. But also, with this, we did see kind of an increase in the MACD here, where it's green. And then over here, we're starting to look green again. But, that's a pretty small little blip there. And that histogram there, it's a 0.001, so very small amount. But it is positive. But yeah, maybe this does pull back. So good to be cautious. And I did mention 108, so I will mark that there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's no rush with this one. So can easily, casually add to one's position. That's what I'm doing. And then if there ends up being a reverse split, then maybe I get more interested in options, and that would be kind of fun with it. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's downtrending until proven otherwise. And right now, it's kind of in the middle of that channel. With earnings coming up, maybe that is the spark that sets this off, but we'll have to see. So hopefully helpful. Got in SOUN around 5 is what Saul is saying. And so let's see. Yeah, I mean, something that I did, I'm very proud of it. I'll show you real quick. And since the Mr. Bagel Show was mentioning Tesla, this is something that I'm just really proud of. So I had gotten some shares, I think at around 145 over here, just 2 shares. It's expensive for me, even at 145. Or maybe I did at 142, just because it's like 420. Yeah, I got a couple of shares there. I sold them up here just because it's like, well, I mean, it could be pulling back, whatever. And then it's like, no. I mean, I had that mapped out as being a technical low, significant support there. I should have just held at least one of those shares, and I didn't. And so then I bought back one share at 185 right here. It pierced the level, hit a low of 182. I'm still holding that share. And in all honesty, I never plan on selling it. Because what I see happening with Tesla, I mean, let's see, it's just one share, so it's nothing too crazy. But, from right around there up to current price, like I'm up 90% on that. Maybe I could sell it for 100% swing. Maybe I could have sold it where this purple line was, because I recognize that as being a resistance right around 267. But it's like, whatever. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to place a stop loss above my, price at 185. I believe I set the stop loss at 10% above my average. If it pulls back to that, then, I at least don't lose money. I make a little bit. But I don't see that Tesla is going to be pulling back to that level. And knowing Tesla and its history, I suspect that, let's see, here's a split, a 3-for-1 split. So I think my one share may eventually get turned into 3 shares. Or let's see, here's another split, 5-for-1. That could turn my one share into 5. And, I think that the story goes on, but maybe it takes too long to get to it. But yeah, I mean, if you've got a good average, on SOUN, just hang out. Yeah, just chill. And like, let's see, looking at $5, I got all these levels down here. Those are, I'm just going to delete these because they're all, old news at this point. let's see, you gotta remove these retracements. So, yeah, I mean, this is at 445. I don't see it going lower than that. I mean, what you could do is, you know, just like kind of going off of these lows. I mean, you could just do it at 550 as stop loss. And then that's a 10% gain. If it ever comes back to 550, which I don't think it would. Well, actually, I mean, maybe it could. I was thinking this was above 550, but 550, this is right around 5, right, that level. And let's see, 550. I mean, I could see it coming back to 550. There's a possibility there. And then maybe it finds support there. So, yeah, I mean, maybe like a stop loss, I don't know, right around 5, just so you have something. So it's like if it just falls off a cliff, there's no like risk there. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is one at this point could just be held from 5 to, that's a 4x. So yeah, to 20. So very nice job there. W stream, what's up? I don't know what that means. And then, so let's see. I see that Mr. Bagel Show requested XTIA. So I will pull that up. Superbike Company and XTIA, which is XTI Aerospace. A VTOL. Cool. I don't know what that stands for, but I know what that means. Company, which these are going to boom if market rips. Yeah, and just before I go into that, I'm just going to pull up ACHR, is that Archer? Yeah, I had talked about this when I had a few shares. This was before I really started getting into options. I had a position at like $3 a share. I could have, but it was in all honesty at most 10 shares. Maybe I had 100 shares, so maybe I could have made $300. But yeah, but I you know, these levels that I had drawn, this parallel channel, got rejected from it, pulled back, bounced, and broke out. This looks like it could be pulling back though, so maybe pulling back to like 490. But anyways, I know this one was not requested, so I will pull up XTIA, which is XTIA. So there's the ticker, and also VTOL is the is that just the sector, or like the branch of companies? So I'm just gonna see what this is. Profile is a provider of vertical flight solutions. Yeah, so it's, or yeah, like whatever that kind of companies these are. I guess I thought it was like eToll or like something. Anyways, VTOL. But I will first go over XTIA. This one, so for me, I think I remember this one. I think I went over it a while ago in a video on like a bunch of these stocks. I think that this one looks like bad news in all honesty. For, you know, let's see. Big reason, one for 100 reverse split. And then I imagine there's going to be another one for 75. And if we go back, you know, about 2 years, it was about 260. That's almost exactly, wow, I just guessed. This is November 25th of 2022, so I'm a day off. And let's see, I wonder if, and the 24th was not a trading day? Oh my gosh, I'm just like really impressed. And the 24th was not even a trading day. It must have been Thanksgiving. So I'm really impressed that I just hovered the cursor over wanting to get about 2 years ago, and I nailed it with November 25th. And so, yeah, it was about $250 2 years ago. I think that this is just going to bleed and bleed and bleed. And a big reason for that is because if you look at their market cap, it's only $7 million. So, I mean, personally, I don't have that kind of money. I'm a pretty small cap trader. But you know, I view that, you know, if I'm, you know, successful at doing this and stuff, $7 million is not a lot of money, especially if you're a company that works in aerospace. So this one, I mean, maybe you could think about it for a squeeze type of play, but I think that's very risky because from here, you know, it squeezed up 100%, but then pulled back, and you'd be lucky to get that. So it's like it happens once. Oh, okay, maybe it'll happen again. It happens twice, and then it's like, oh, okay, I think it's going to happen a third time. But then this third time, does it go up 100%? No, it only goes up 50%, diminishing returns. And that's just like more people being like, oh, well, the next time's going to be bigger. Or, it's happened 3 times. It'll happen again, at least for a 50% swing. And then it just goes up for a 20% swing, and everybody loses money on this. So this, I'm sorry, does not look good to me. The risk reward is way too far on the risk side. The reward side is, maybe you don't lose money. That's my perspective on it. But yeah, there are other companies in this space. And, if you think about it, like, why is ACHR ripping? Why are the other ones ripping? Like VTOL, I believe, was ripping from what I just seen. Why is this one not ripping? It's not because it's waiting to rip. It's because it's failing. And you can just see that in the chart. Like, this is the Mullen Automotive for whatever these things are called, these like human-sized like drone things or whatever. But anyways, yeah, looking at VTOL, this one is up, from April, looking pretty good, up 60% from April. So yeah, I think that this one looks much better than the other one. If we look at the market cap, it's 1.10 billion. And so for a company that works in aerospace, that's developing vehicles that will be taking people around, I want them to have a larger market cap than people's, portfolios who trade, retail traders. You definitely, I imagine, have, $7 million in just trading. And so what's a company doing making vehicles that fly with only $7 million? So I would say, for me personally, I would say forget XTIA. VTOL, maybe there's something interesting here. But maybe there's also something to be concerned with as well. So what I'm going to do is just going to do a quick Fibonacci retracement just to kind of see, where it found a bottom. That I'm going to say is right around the 50%. So I'm just going to guess, throw that up there. So yeah, that looks pretty good. 50% found support there. And let's see. Excusing this low, which it did not close below, it has been putting in higher lows. So I think that's good. And then let's see. Maybe there's a parallel here as well, though. So I might delete that, do a parallel. It seems to be my thing tonight. So I might just draw it from the low over here, the low over here, and then connect it to right here. So yeah, I think this looks like, from here, this looks like bullish consolidation, although this big wick to the top side, I need to get the right tool. What am I getting? 4150 is the high there. Big wick up there, rejection, fake out break from that parallel channel. Now it looks like, big move up with this gap, consolidation, but big wicks to the top side. So that doesn't look too great. What we see with this big move is big volume on that day and no drop. Volume diminishes, so it's being held up there as far as I can tell, as far as I understand. And the MACD had this big green hump here. It never went negative. And I think it could be making another rally. And here, looking at the RSI, we got this little peak here to like 67. Right now, it's lower than 67, 66.40. I think this could be breaking above 70. So, and with that, I think that this could be making a move. Maybe it gets rejected from 41.50, but then pulls back to test the top of this parallel channel. And that will be coming down to, let's say, lowest like 39.50, right around there. So it could, let's see, I'm just going to draw it, maybe it could go something like this, back down, and then up. So that is what I could see. I'll make that yellow. And yeah, I don't know where it will be going necessarily. And maybe to give an idea of that, maybe I could do a, yeah, I could definitely do a, actually, no, I don't know if I can. Thinking like doing a Fibonacci extension, so like going from here to here and then up to, that would be giving a retracement to the downside. Oh, well, you know, I can do one on this time scale. So from this low to the high over here, double top. And also very interesting, you know, this put in a higher high over here. And with that, you know, this is a higher high in the stock price. What did the RSI do? Put in a lower high. So that was very clear topping signal, especially with that like spinning top doji, big wicks to the top and bottom. But anyways, you know, from this on the weekly time frame, I can draw a Fibonacci extension. So going from here to here and then back down to here. So let's look at that. And this is probably just going to be approximate because I don't want to spend too much time drawing this just right. But yeah, I mean, I could see this going. 100% is around $50. 160, sorry, the 1618 is around $68. And then the 2618 is right around 100 here at 97.57. Also corresponding with the high over here, 103.91. So yeah, I think that this looks really good. But switching over back over to the daily, but I would like to see it break above the top of this parallel channel, get rejected from here, bounce, showing some strength. It's kind of like how it got rejected here, bounced. Now hopefully it shows some strength. Although this spinning top looks like it's getting rejected, we'll see if it's met with some big volume tomorrow or over the course of this week. Even though it's a holiday week, I think that could be doing that. So yeah, I think it looks like a really cool chart. So cool suggestion there. And then show is the, wait, let's see. A VTOL coming, which are going to boom if market rips. Show is great, by the way. Oh, thank you. And only suggestion is please make the ape talk if you can. To be honest, if I end up being really successful and having enough money to put into the channel to invest in things like that, I definitely hire somebody to do a lot of the editing for me and to animate that. Maybe that's something I could do with like AI. I don't know. I don't really know how to do that. But yeah, Ed just sits there and thinks. And if you ever see a thumbnail with his mouth open, that is actually the mouth from Roaring Kitty's little mouth. I just fit it to Ed's mouth, and you know he looks happy, but it's actually a kitty mouth that's roaring. Yeah, so you know, as of right now, basically, I don't really make much money with the channel. It's like you, in order to be monetized or to get a payment every month, you have to do over $100. And so basically, I do that every 2 months. So I get paid about $100 every 2 months for doing these videos. And, you know, well, that, you know, it's like, that doesn't even pay for the overhead of just like internet and stuff like that. You know, I'm looking into getting the annual subscription to Unusual Whale. So I'm trying to, you know, invest in the channel in ways that also benefit my channel. That benefit my trading, and then yeah, having more fun with the channel once it grows. And I think part of that might be, I think I might do Premium X next year. I did that for a couple months this year, I think, but I didn't do it for too long. But I think I might post, you know, full-length videos on there because I think I might end up being able to make more revenue on Twitter because, you know, basically I do all this work for YouTube on YouTube or for myself on YouTube. And then I really just like copy and paste a lot of that stuff onto Twitter. And through that, I should say X, my followers there has grown to almost 800. So it's pretty small. But, I put so much effort into YouTube to getting to over 1,000 subscribers, which is the threshold for getting monetized. And so, I think that I might be able to, if I become a premium user of X, it's possible I could make some money on there, and maybe my focus would shift to that, with that being, really like the everything app. I really like X a lot. I don't know why some people don't like it or talk trash about it, but much better than any of the other social media platforms. Aside from YouTube, I think YouTube and X, they're my favorites. And let's see. So XTIA, they were not traded on New York Stock Exchange until this year when INPIXIN INPX became XTIA. Okay, yeah, but just as far as looking at that chart and comparing these two in the same space, I think this one looks like a gamble. Whereas a gamble, it's probably a losing gamble, like a person going to the casino losing money type of gamble. Whereas this, there are some technical levels with this. I think that VTOL looks pretty cool. So very nice there. And actually, yeah, I'm curious, what are so I just like options and stuff. I think they're fun. Let's see, $100. I don't think it's going up there that fast, but maybe 70, maybe 100. Let's see. Options here, looking for there's no June, but there is a July, so that gives me more time. 55. Yeah, to buy one of these calls is almost $500, so a little too pricey for me. But yeah, cool chart. And so let's see. The Mr. Bagel Show is saying XTIA is not on any reverse split list, and the board looks legit. They just got FAA clearance of some sort anyways. And yeah, and also too with the Department of Government Efficiency with DOGE, I wonder if that could actually benefit these companies, because of, while Elon Musk is not in this space, I think that his frustration with the FAA regarding SpaceX could benefit these other companies because, of course, regulation and to an extent is good, but it's just been putting the country and our progress in paralysis. So that could be really good for all of these companies. So, yeah, I wish I would have held my Archer shares, but oh well. I traded them and did something else, and now I'm doing more with options. So it's all part of the story of learning and getting better with the market and stuff. So it's all an important part of it. And so yeah, the Mr. Bagel Show, bookmark it, bro. It'll rip. So okay, cool. Well, I'm not going to bookmark XTIA, but I will put an alert, and I will put an alert for, let's see, what's the high over here? 10 cents. I'll put an alert for 10 cents. That seems fair to me. And yeah, for me, for my trading style, this is not one that I like or that I'm interested in. But what I've been learning, especially with getting into options, dealing with expiration dates, target prices and stuff, everybody to the day, manages their emotions, manages their, different psychology, and different sized bank accounts, different amounts of money on the side, all of that different, maybe there are, somebody's in a marriage or has kids or, whatever. All these factors, everybody responds to this stuff so differently. And so I find that it's really good to just do, what works for you. And what I've been finding has been working for me lately has just been doing, long dated calls based on technical levels and being cautiously building positions, because I never, although I was pretty good with Unity, but I just, it's identifying the bottom, but then having conviction in it and playing it. It's like, well, maybe it doesn't get there. Okay, I get in early. Or, there's one, I think it was Mara. I think I had a level marked on Mara. Did I add that? Yep, it's there. Okay. Oh, I already had it up here. Yeah, I mean, I had, let's see, this alert here, it's 16. And wait, no, I guess it wasn't Mara. It was something else. I forget. What did I trade recently? I don't know. But there was one where it like went just above the level. It was something 23. I think 25, 23. I don't remember what it was. 25, 23. But yeah, it was, I had a level at 25 and the low is 25, 23. And I said, I'm going to actually check what I'm holding right now because maybe I'm still holding it. 25, 23. I'm going to say that number over and over and over. I don't know. Well, it's in my, options spreadsheet, so I can pull that up. I don't know if you guys are interested in options and stuff, but I'm just going to flip through this real quick. Maybe it was, actually, I don't know what I'm looking for, to be honest. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. Doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to, sorry for the tease there. But yeah, so Mr. Bagel Show is saying, imagine having bought FFIE at the right time this year. Yeah, but I think that imagining things, fantasizing about things, I think that gets you into trouble because then it's like, oh, well, if I would have bought whatever. I mean, you could look at any chart. You could look at the stock market. What if I was alive 200 years ago and I bought the stock market then? I bought the S&P 500. I'd be set for life. And it's like, yeah, but what if, you live in reality and you can't look back at a chart and say, what if I bought here and rode it to the top or, whatever it is. And so, because then it's like, oh, because what if I put more money on it? And then all of these what ifs, what if it goes a little bit higher and then it doesn't? And yeah, so I just think that the what if mindset is very risky. Let's see. FFIE. I'll pull that up. I haven't looked at that one in a while. But yeah, I mean, what if you bought this at the right time? Like, what if you bought it? This is the daily chart. What if you bought it right here on May 13th? Let's see what kind of measurement that is. Let's see, you bought it, right around there. That's a pretty good amount of money. But let's say you put $1,000 on it. That's turning that $1,000 into 85,000 something, because 200. Well, let's see, going up 100%. Yeah, is turning that $1,000 into 2,000. So going up. This is, turning $1,000 into like 85,000, somewhere around there. But yeah, this is over the course of 4 trading days. No, because on this 4th trading day, you're going to say, what if it goes to 100,000? What if? And then it doesn't. And then let's say you don't cut it here because, oh, it's consolidating, it's going to rip up again. And then it keeps bleeding. And then, after all of that, you're only up 885%. That's called greed. You got to take profits at some point. And then, yeah, I mean, where has it gone since then? I guess it's up from there. That was at like 150. Yeah, I mean, it's basically return to those levels. So yeah, I mean, I think it's risky to have like the what if mindset, because also, I mean, it's like, let's say you're buying like XTIA around here, and then it's like, okay, well, from here, well, what if, I'm buying it like in May of 2024, right before FFIE breaks out? That's what I'm doing with XTIA, let's say. And so buy here, and it's like, oh, well, there's like this nice rip here, so maybe that's good. But oh, no, actually that high there, you're in the negative. And then this just keeps going down. And so that's having to endure, 91% to the downside over the course of 128 calendar days. But then from there, it rips. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty tough to go from like basically negative at 100% to positive 650%. So I think it's good to be cautious when there's stuff that, this is just a 1 for 3 reverse split. So it's not that big of a deal there, but this one is a 1 for 40. So yeah. But yeah, I have been streaming for about an hour, so I will probably wind this down unless there are some more requests. I've spent over 37 hours at work over the past week, because I get 30-minute lunch breaks every day. I don't get paid for those, but I have to stay an extra half an hour at work because of it. Yeah, most people ain't got the stomach for penny stocks. I get it, no worries. Yeah, I mean, and for me, it's not even just like, for me, it's not even really a factor of stomach. It's just like, what I've been doing with the weekly options videos is every week, my portfolio, I am holding less than 20 or less positions. And so if it's like, okay, I'm going to put $1,000 on whether it's FFIE or XTIA, I'll just set that aside. I'll forget about it. But then if it's like, I do that with a few stocks, and then it's like that's eating into the number of stocks I want to try to be in and out of in my portfolio. So yeah, it's just like, buying and then waiting. And I'm more interested in, these are the levels, they line up, what looks good to me. And then, like with options, I didn't like them initially, or I didn't think I was good at them, because the expirations, I would always it would go to 0, And then I've just been practicing, picking longer dated options contracts, basing them off of technical analysis. And, some of them I'm sure I'm going to be wrong on. Some of them I'm going to lose money on. But so far, they've been pretty good to me. So, yeah. Excuse me. And yeah, and I think and also too, there was a stock that somebody who I could actually pull up what he was telling me to look at. It's let's see, posting it on X. Wait, not this. I don't want nerds. What am I? I want NRDY. Nerdy. Okay. So yeah, he was requesting that I look at NNDM, and that's recently viewed. And he also have recently requested I go over NNDM. And so, it's like, okay, I'll take the request. It does look like it's broken out from this downtrend. I'll do a video on that. Looks good. But then it forms this bear flag. And I don't too often do follow-up videos. I just don't have enough time. But, I just saw this consolidating, and it's like, okay, so I had a small position. I sold it for negligible gains. And then, yeah, it's just broken down. Now it's potentially triple bottom. So maybe the bottom's in, but it's just I'm not going to do any more videos where it's it's just ripped and I don't know enough about it and all this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I just want to stay away from stuff that's a little too speculative. Like this nerdy here. This one, yeah, he was posting about it when it was over here. So definitely, good move there. I was saying that, yeah, it was Let's do a little trend line. So I was kind of thinking, you know, right here where the cursor is, that level across, maybe it could island gap up to here. So leaving this little island down here. But then also, you know, it looks like, you know, there was this like wedge that it was breaking out of. And yeah, but there's no retest. It got a 26% move on the 19th. And then over here, you know, there is actually the gaps up here. The close on August 8th was at a price of $1.59. So I got that marked right there. Just going to make this a dashed thicker blue line. So no, that's a gap that needs to be filled still. And we're getting pretty close to that. So I feel like this could be pulling back. And, you know, I don't know that any of this is terribly significant. But I feel like I'll just draw what I think this could do. Like I think that this could continue up, but then get rejected where that gap fill would be, and then pull back, testing not only that 786 from that Fibonacci extension or whatever it is, but then also, you know, testing the prior highs following that gap down. I would like point to it, but I can't, and I don't want to move the crayon tool, you know, over there. But yeah, so I think that it could pull back, bounce this around 120, and then from there, break above that gap and continue higher. So that is what I would look for with this. And what I was talking about over here, you know, getting back to this level, finding some support there as, you know, maybe that could even be like to over here, you know, with the low there. So yeah, that's what I would look for this. But, you know, this being around $1, not too exciting with options, I think. And yeah, and I just, you know, I don't want to be chasing, like, because, you know, kind of what I've realized with the channel is I don't have enough time to work hard enough on the channel to make enough money to get by on. And even if, you know, what I did in like the first half of the year, just like spending all of my free time when I'm not at work, when I'm not working on stuff at home, doing videos, even with that, the most I ever made was like $200 a month, maybe $250. And that was with a video that I did on Roaring Kitty, going over some math that I did. And that video got like 10,000 views, which most of my videos don't. So that was just like a recipe for, you know, a good month of earnings. But yeah, I mean, I just, there's no way that I'm going to be able to make enough with this channel, at least right now, to just do this for like my sustenance. But I think I'm getting good enough at trading options. And I just recently paid off some credit card debt, so I don't have that hanging over me. And crypto's ripping. You know, that I think that what's better than just making videos to get views, because people watch videos out of like emotional responses to, oh, it's going lower. How much lower is it going to go? All this, or, you know, the opposite, going higher. And that leads to people buying things that are bleeding. I feel like, you know, ChargePoint's potentially an example of that. You know, or, you know, buying things that are, you know, topping. And so I don't really want to do that, and partly because I end up participating in a lot of what I cover. And so like I'd rather just go over developing theses around options and trading those, because then I think I can make money doing that. I think it's good for me. Hopefully it's helpful for viewers, and occasionally I can do some fun stuff. Ticker Request Live is always fun because I always get exposed to other stocks that I'm not as familiar with. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I think for me, YouTube is kind of like a great way to get information and exchange information about ideas. Of course, I have my own ideas like regarding options trades, stuff like that. Some of the technical analysis is good, but really I think it's like it can't just be one of these things. It has to be a number of things, a number of levels, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. But yeah, I lost my train of thought because I'm tired. But yeah, I mean, I just think that, it's like, oh yeah, exchanging information via the channel, because it's like, if I post something like, Tilray and Neo recently, some of the comments, people have been making me feel like, oh man, there's a lot of pain out there. People have lost all faith and conviction in these plays. And that to me is information where it's like, well, that's data. That's a bottom indicator. If everybody's saying, oh, this is going to keep going lower, and I'm seeing, oh, there's some technical levels, I feel like the bottom's in more likely. And also, Ticker Request Live, I get ideas for different stocks to look at from you guys, and hopefully my analysis is helpful. And then also, just the videos and stuff. How can all this stuff help us inform and improve our trading based on our own personal styles, management of emotions, all of that. And then so that is PCE is consumer, or not, it's a producer price, something index price. Let's see, what is PCE? I should know this, but I forget this stuff. Personal consumption expenditures price. Personal consumption expenditures, is that what it is? It's coming out Wednesday. Potential pullback incoming. Holding VIX plays for now. Just need the market to move this week, which it probably won't because it's a holiday week, light trading, which could also equal more pullback. Yeah, and so I had just done a video on the UVIX. I can pull up that chart. I've got to go over to, let's see, the request list over here. So UVIX, I trade the UVIX just because I don't want to do options with volatility because I'm probably going to time it incorrectly. But I just did this video where I went over how I've just like noticed there are these like 2-week cycles, or, it's like the wavelength is 1 month, but the crest or whatever, I forget the wave stuff. But for one, like half of a cycle, it's about 2 weeks. And so this is, red for 2 weeks, and then zooming in a little bit, green for 2 weeks, then red for 2 weeks, green for 2 weeks, red for 2 weeks, green. And then we just recently broke below these trend lines here, these levels here. And so now we're kind of in this green phase. And so I have a small position in UVIX. I plan on trimming at like 469, and then whatever 10% more than that would be based on my average. And so, yeah, I'm kind of wondering, like, does this, go higher? But yeah, I mean, if it's light volume and stuff because of the holiday, maybe this box gets extended, or maybe I'm wrong and maybe I should have trimmed at break even over here. But yeah, I mean, I'm expecting this to go up, really just to get back and test this uptrend. Like, I feel like, we were in this cycle here where it's bouncing in this like kind of wedge, and then it breaks below the wedge. So now the base of that wedge is going to be resistance. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that this relates to, of course, this relates to the VIX, but this is just shares that I have rather than calls, or, puts if you want to do that, but shorting the VIX, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that there is some volatility and that this spikes up, and really just so I can kind of get out of this for a little while, or at least be less, I'm not really heavy in it or anything. I think I was planning on adding at 350, which is miraculously right where the cursor's at, because it had the previous low over here of 328. So like thinking, let's not get a lower low. And then 350 is maybe a dip buy level before, it goes up higher. So 598.40 on SPY right now, and high is 614. Market is just sitting on the high. It's maddening. I think that the SPY is going to go higher. I did just post a video on the channel from Colin Gladman. I think he's a really good technical analyst, also uses options really well. I have not signed up for his Discord yet. Maybe that's something I do in the future. But I think that, the free content that he puts out, he's just like a really good trader in my view. I kind of wanted to show you this chart that I posted on X, I think in February. And so I'm just going to pull that up. And so I believe that's on my profile. Actually, I think it's on my bookmarks. Let's see what I've bookmarked over here. Yeah, so this is from February 8th. Let's take a look at this post. So on February 8th of this year, I posted, following the COVID crash, the S&P 500, the SPX, went up to $2,600 from from the low over here of 2,200 to 4,800. And after that 2-year rally, a low of 3,500 was hit in October of 2022. And a 2,600 rally would put it at 6,100 in August of 2024. And so I asked Gareth Soloway, do you foresee that measured move happening, or is 5,000 the top? Poll below. I am not sure what he voted on or if he voted on it, but I'm pretty sure that he voted on 5,000, thinking that there was a double top there. He was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't put money on this. But if we look at this, yeah, I mean, this is just, I copy and pasted this measurement over here. We are right around there. That would put price target to 6,118. And so I might, just repost that because, I think I should. And well, let's see. Yeah, 6,100. I mean, I think that everything's really like positioned to continue going higher into the end of the year, likely into the beginning of next year, which, it may top around inauguration. It may top in March. I have no idea. It may top in June. I have no idea. But I think that it's a bad idea to try and time the top when we're putting in all-time highs. So I'll pull up, got some of the indexes over here. And so looking at the SPY, I got these levels drawn. It does look like, we're bumping into this level from these prior highs over here. And so that looks like there's some resistance, but I feel like it'll probably get a pop and we'll be getting above 600. And I suspect up to, maybe around 615 and possibly higher. I think Colin Gladman was saying around 640 is a possibility. But, you'd have to watch that video. I watched it just before doing the stream. So the SPX, I got that target of, 6,100. 6,100. But I don't have a position in this. I'm just, long other stuff. And, and I think that kind of a reason why I was skeptical of this stuff is because crypto didn't really look like it was aligned for, the, new highs in the end of the year. But then, following the election, that changed. And so, yeah, I mean, I think all this stuff's just going to keep pumping. Pretty exciting. And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much all that I got. I think, I've been doing this for an hour and 20 minutes and I'm tired. I'm going to relax a little bit so I'm not too dead tomorrow when the market opens. But yeah, I don't know what the next video that I'll have out is. I might take tomorrow a day off. Might be kind of a light week with Thanksgiving. But yeah, anyways, if you guys are not, I'm sure you are. But if you're not, please make sure you subscribe. If you did enjoy the stream, make sure you like it. And, if you do want some more of my thoughts on things, I definitely recommend checking out the options video that I put out yesterday. I go over a lot of tickers there, and there are timestamps. I not only go over my thesis around the options, but also how it's based around the charts and technical analysis. So I think it's a really useful video You know, it's valuable for me. And so I want to be making more videos that are not just valuable for you guys, but also valuable for me. And so the cat coins are next for crypto. Dog coins already went. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. I'm not too familiar with the cat coins, but I am intrigued by dog with hat. But I'm not getting distracted by the other coins. For me, I have some Bitcoin I do daily stacks with, Doge that I do daily stacks with, very small. But I'm very happy with my Doge position size now. Bitcoin, I'll never be happy with the size of it. And then also I have some Ethereum Classic. I think my average is around 22. I like Ethereum Classic more than Ethereum because Ethereum Classic is easy to move. It's cheap to move, gas fees. It's fast to move. And yeah, I got my average at 22. So I stopped buying and now I just have a limit buy to get one more coin at 22. And then if it does go lower, then I'll add more to that. And maybe, you know, since I am talking about crypto, I'll just pull this up at the end here. And then also I do have an altcoin that was like the remainder from like 2021, RLC. And so I add to that every week now. But really I'm just looking forward to being like break even and getting out of it because I don't know or care too much about that coin. But yeah, Bitcoin, I feel so bad. A few days ago, I wanted to do the $100,000 stream and Ed ran that while I was at work, and we hit a high of, as far as Weeble's concerned, you know, I know different exchanges will have different numbers, but for Weeble, $99,795.34, just below 100,000. You know, which is perhaps not too surprising. I do think it is encouraging, though, that it is consolidating here, so it might be ripping some faces off. And also, I think, you know, a big thing for me that I have memories of is learning about Bitcoin over Thanksgiving. And, you know, I didn't have the conviction then that I have now, and I didn't, you know, diamond hand and all this stuff. I am now, though. But, you know, I have memories of learning about it over Thanksgiving. And so I feel like a lot of people will be talking about Bitcoin, whether it's above 100,000 or below it. I think people will be talking about it. And I think a lot of uncles will be, you know, wanting to jump in. And yeah, so I think that there's more room to go. I don't think retail has really jumped into this yet. Dogecoin right around 420. Love to see it there. Hit a high a few days ago of 48 cents, so almost at 50 cents, almost at the $0.50. But it does look like, you know, the consolidation over here kind of now acting as support, so that's looking good. Ethereum Classic, you know, hit a high of 31.4 cents. And, you know, my average is, it looks like the 200-day moving average, right around $22. So maybe we pull back to that. Maybe I add to my position, but I don't plan on raising my average with Ethereum Classic. Whereas with Doge and Bitcoin, I think it's worth it to raise my average. And Doge, kind of my thesis is that, you know, I'll trim probably not half of my position at this point, at least take back what I put in when Doge gets to around $1. If in case it doesn't get to $1, just like Bitcoin's not at 100,000 yet, and just like Doge didn't get to $1 last time. So yeah, but you know, hopefully that is all helpful and fun. Hope you guys have a great Monday, great start to the week. I hope you guys have a wonderful time with your families if you're celebrating Thanksgiving in the U.S. If not, I hope you just have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll try to do this stream again next Sunday, which I should have no problem with because I'm not working for the next really like 2 weeks. So should be pretty nice. But yeah, have a great Monday. Thank you guys so much for joining.